Greetings, everyone. Thank you for coming in on Saturday. It's a beautiful day. Thank you for coming in to listen to what I have to tell you guys. It's really good. I hope you have a pen and paper ready because we're about to begin. Still letting a few people in.
Excuse me, good morning. This is Natalia. I'm trying to log in I'm on my phone right now and I'm trying to log in from my laptop, but it's asking for a meeting passcode.
You probably have to log out from your phone and then log in from your
On the laptop.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So just please let me back in. I'm just so sorry. I gotta
Yeah.
change it right there.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna probably wait a couple more minutes and let her come back in. There's a few people who need to come back in. We'll wait a few more minutes and then we'll get started. You will be able to get the replay 2 days after today. So May 22nd, the replay will be available and I will be sending you guys emails with the information for the replay. So just be patient. As I just go through everything and then for those of you who like later on you'll have 14 days free access to the replay, and later on, like if once it expires, if you want to get it again, then you would have to purchase it again for $20. But that's only if you don't watch it when it expires. But I think the way that I broke it down, you guys are going to understand this on a whole different level. So I feel very confident about this. So let's get into it. All right, let's see. Get this off the screen. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Got to get this off the screen. Okay. Frequently asked questions, because a lot of people ask questions about this process. And these are the questions that I've been getting. One of them is, will I still, sorry, gotta let these people in. Okay. Will I still be able to keep my car after rescinding the contract? The answer to that question is yes. According to 12 CFR 1026.23, section D1, when a consumer rescinds a transaction, the security interest becomes void and the consumer is not liable for any amount, including the finance charge. Why would I want to rescind my contract? Sorry, guys, people are still coming in. There are many reasons why someone would want to rescind their contract. The most common reason is finding fraud in your contract. And that is what I'm going to show you guys how to find in this presentation. Does this work if I had my car for longer than 3 years, or if my car is already paid off? Yes. You can still rescind the contract on a paid off repo or a car that is under contract for longer than 3 years. How long does this process take? As with any process, there are steps that must be taken correctly to be successful. The amount of time it takes honestly depends on how fast you execute accurately and how fast the auto dealer and finance companies take to respond. So it has a lot to do with how fast you move in this process once you get the tools, and how fast they respond to what you're sending out. So I can't give you a deadline because it can take time. All right. What are the grounds for rescission of a contract? Rescinding a contract is an option if there is proof that there was material error in the contract, evidence of fraud, mutual errors, lack of legal or mental capacity, duress, or one party not fulfilling its obligations. And the reason why I feel like it's important to break this down is because a lot of people, they talk about rescission, but they don't tell you why you can rescind, how, they don't break down the back end of rescission. So I'm trying to break down the logistics so that you guys can understand why you are able to rescind and the grounds of it and what you should be looking for in the contract. And this goes for more than just car contracts. This is for any contract that you feel like has any of these in the contract, which most of them do. Hence the word contract. C-O-N, con is all a con. Sorry. Contract law. In contract law, rescission is an equitable remedy which allows a contractual party to cancel the contract. Parties may rescind if they are the victims of misrepresentation, mistake, duress, or undue influence. Contracts may not be rescinded in equity for common mistake or unilateral mistake known to the other party. Gifts may be rescinded in equity for undue influence, misrepresentation, and some unilateral mistakes. So I'm going to break down what those mistakes are. I'm also going to break down the different types. Sorry, I keep pressing the wrong button. Types of mistakes. So a unilateral mistake is an incorrect belief of one party that is not shared by the other party. So for instance, back when everybody was forced or coerced into getting the jab, there were people who believed in it and there were people who didn't. Now, say for instance, you were to sign a contract with a employer and this employer required you to be fully vaccinated, enable for you to, in order for you to work at that job. So with that being said, that's a unilateral mistake if you were to sign that contract because your belief and their belief is not the same. You don't have a shared belief. So that's a unilateral mistake. Common mistake. Common mistake is where the mistake is shared by both parties and is fundamental and directly affects the basic definition of what the parties are contracting for. The mistake will render the contract void if it robs it of all substance. So that's just like, for instance, me putting you guys into a contract, and that contract has some mistakes in it, which messes up the importance of it. So if the numbers are incorrect or if there are incorrect verbiage used, those kind of mistakes can happen. So just because it's a contract from a company does not mean that there may or may not be common mistakes that take place. Mutual mistake is an incorrect belief shared by both parties. So both parties, they have the incorrect belief that messes with the contract. So these are the different types of mistakes. To cancel or rescind. Canceling and rescinding has different meanings and must be discussed to help further your understanding of this process. Cancellation means termination of the entire agreement by the act of parties/law. Rescinding of agreement means parties shall have to maintain the status quo with respect to some mutual understanding about some terms specified in the agreement. Rescission may be unilateral, as we just talked about. So unilateral means that only one person, one of the parties, has to feel as though they want to rescind. So that would be you. It's unilateral because you're the only one person who is choosing to rescind. Okay? So rescission may be unilateral, as when a party rightfully cancels a contract because of another party's material breach. Material breach is a contract that has some type of fraud, as we went over before, some type of misrepresentation. Whoever mic is unmuted, can you mute your mic? Please, everybody, make sure you're on mute, please. I'll do a quick Q&A at the end, but I got to keep it really short because it's a lot of information. Excuse me, a lot of information. I'll try to squeeze it in, but if I can't get it in, I'll figure out a way that I can answer some questions in reference to this, maybe by email or something. So don't send me any emails. Just let me figure out how we're going to get this done. But I'm trying to pack all of this information into the short amount of time that we have. So let's try to get through this. Rescission can also be mutual, meaning that both parties agree to rescind on a contract, as when the contracting parties agree to disagree all remaining obligations. Why did I keep pressing it? All right, so there's two types of rescission. There are two types of rescission, namely rescission in equity and rescission de futuro. Rescission in equity. Rescission in equity starts with rolling back the contract to the initial state of affairs before the parties in question accepted the terms of the contract. So before the contract was signed, this rescission in equity will go before that to the initial state of affairs. So it would cancel out that contract back to the very beginning before the contract was even accepted. Rescission de futuro, aka rescission ab initio. This is also in Black's Law Dictionary if you guys want to start looking into it. And it's pretty kind of like self-explanatory, just when you're looking at the words, you kind of can put two and two together. But a rescission ab initio means terminating the contract as if it does not exist. The term ab initio derives from Latin. It means from the beginning. Rescission de futuro carries a different meaning with rescission ab initio. The terminology rescission de futuro or rescission for the future is used unwisely to describe the situation of plaintiffs who are entitled to contract termination after a breach. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do here, is how to get that rescission de futuro for the rescission ab initio. So it does not matter how long you've been in the contract with these people for this car. It doesn't matter if the car is paid off, because you can rescind in present or past. Hope that makes sense. How to detect auto dealer fraud. Auto dealer fraud is more common than many choose to believe. And because of that, we are no longer bound to the contracts we have with them. How do we pinpoint fraud in our contracts to have the right to rescind them? So coercing, scheming, lying, and trickery are all methods used to commit fraud. If you have been a victim of any of the above, you have the right to rescind. 15 USC Code 1605, determination of finance charge. We're going to discuss sections A and C. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen real quick, and I'm gonna pull that law up to show you guys. Sorry, I thought I already had it up, but I had the other law up. Okay, let's get my screen back up. All right, hold on real fast. Let me hold on. I think I've seen some people that need to be okay. Nope, everybody's in here. All right, get my screen back up. All right, here we go. So 15 USC Code 1605, determination of finance charge. We're going to go to section B and C. B, life, accident, or health insurance premiums included in finance charge. These sections here describe how, I know you guys probably, if you have or haven't, heard that we're supposed to be getting our insurance included into our finance when we finance a vehicle. Our insurance is supposed to be written into that contract. That is what this section is talking about. So charges of premiums for credit life, accident, or health insurance written in connection with any consumer credit transaction shall be included in the finance charge unless 1, the coverage of the debtor by the insurance is not a factor in the approval by the creditor of the extension of credit, and this fact is clearly disclosed in writing to the person applying for or obtaining the extension of credit. Now, I never got anything in writing from the creditor, which would be the dealership. I never gotten anything in writing from them that said that basically I didn't have to be covered by insurance. I never gotten anything from them that says that, and I'm pretty sure everybody in here never has either. So that's one of the reasons why or how that insurance should not be included into the contract, is for if it was in writing from the creditor. And it has to be is not a factor in the approval by the creditor of the extension of credit, and this fact is clearly disclosed in writing to the person applying for or obtaining the extension of credit. It has to be in writing to us, and none of us had that. So that's one of the ways that they wouldn't have to write insurance into the contract. Now we're gonna go to 2. In order to obtain the insurance in connection with the extension of credit, the person to whom the credit is extended must give specific affirmative written indication of his desire to do so after written disclosure to him of the cost thereof. Again, none of this has ever taken place in my life. And I'm pretty sure it's never taken place in you guys' life either. So that's the only 2 reasons why insurance should not be written into our finance or into that contract. These are the 2 reasons why. And we're going to go to C. Property damage and liability insurance premiums included in finance charge. Charges or premiums for insurance written in connection with any consumer credit transaction against loss of or damage to property or against liability arising out of the ownership or use of property shall be included in the finance charge unless a clear and specific statement in writing is furnished by the creditor to the person to whom the credit is extended, setting forth the cost of the insurance if obtained from or through the creditor, and stating that the person to whom the credit is extended may choose the person through which the insurance is to be obtained. So everything that we just discussed in section B is rewritten in section C altogether just to solidify what we already have been discussing. And none of us have gotten anything in writing from the creditor that has anything to do with this for the reason to why we don't have insurance written into our contract. So that is one of the first types of fraud that they commit. And we're going to keep going. And this is just the beginning. All right, I got to share my other screen. This is so stupid how they make you do it. Let's get back to the slideshow. Hold on, guys. Sorry. I'm so new to this. All right. Get back to Zoom. Okay. Back to the presentation. Let's go back. Okay. So we just read we read sections B and C. We're going to read section A. Sorry. I'm moving too fast. But it's good that y'all read B and C because they both have the same point that they're making. And sorry, guys. All right, so back to 15 USC Code 1605, determination of finance charge, section A, finance charge defined. Except as otherwise provided in this section, the amount of the finance charge in connection with any consumer credit transactions shall be determined as the sum of all charges payable directly or indirectly by the person to whom the credit is extended. We all know what the word person means. And the reason why these words are in blue and highlighted because when you click them, it takes you to the definition in law. So we know that a person is a corporation. So when your name in all caps is that person. So I'm going to read it again. Payable directly or indirectly by the person to whom the credit is extended and imposed directly or indirectly by the creditor as an incident to the extension of credit. The finance charge does not include charges of a type payable in a comparable cash transaction. The finance charge shall not include fees and amounts imposed by third-party closing agents, including settlement agents, attorneys, and escrow and title companies. If the creditor does not require the imposition of the charges or the services provided and does not retain the charges. Examples of charges which are included in the finance charge include any of the following types of charges which are applicable. 1, interest, time price differential, and any amount payable under a point discount or other system or additional charges. 2, service or carrying charge. 3, loan fee, finder's fee, or similar charge. 5, fee for an investigational credit report. I'm sorry, 4, 5, premium or other charge for any guarantee or insurance protecting the creditor against the obligator's default or credit law or other credit laws. And 6, borrower paid mortgage broker fees, including fees paid directly to the broker or the lender for delivery to the broker, whether such fees are paid in cash or finance. So this is basically telling you that you're not supposed to be charged cash with a finance charge. A finance charge and cash is not supposed to be written together. No other fees shall be added to the finance charge unless it falls underneath those 6 categories, in which we're going to go over our actual car contract, which is mine. We're going to go over it, and I'm going to show you the fees that are written in that should not be there. It's just how slick they have gotten with hiding and tucking all of these fees in there. And you look at your contract and you wonder what all of this stuff is, and they can't explain it to you. And this is why they put the stuff in the contract the way they do. All right, so back to this. According to the law, a finance charge and a down payment are not supposed to be put together. Somehow, more than half of us have paid a down payment while signing a finance contract. Pinpointing fraud. The finance charge does not include charges of a type payable in a comparable cash transaction. So I have a finance charge and a cash down payment, which is the first way to see the fraud in your contract. The finance charge shall also not include fees and amounts imposed by third-party closing agents, including settlement agents, attorneys, and escrow, and title companies. So that means that any collection agency fees shall not be added to your finance charge. Sadly, without our knowledge, the car dealership has violated this and coerced us into a contract with a third party, which is the bank. How to spot the fees. Let's take a look at what those fees look like on an actual car contract. So now I'm going to show you my actual car contract. And I'm going to point out what those fees would be itemized as on a car contract. We're going to go over a lot of stuff on this contract, but right now I just want to show you that one thing. So give me some, I'm going to scroll down to it. Okay. All right. So right here is when I'm talking about the itemization here. This part of the contract is where the car insurance is supposed to go. But somehow they've thrown in this Lux Care, which is a fake extended warranty. Okay. They put this in the place of the car insurance. This is where it will go, and it's itemized. And it has the price of it here. These are some of the fees that should not be added in. Lux Care, accessories. You see right here in plus cash. This right here is the down payment that we're not supposed to be paying, or it's not supposed to be added to the finance charge. Let's go down. Here you have the state of Texas for road and bridge. That's also one of those fees that should not be there. You see this dealer's inventory tax. That should not be there. Now look at this, E. Debt cancellation agreement fee paid to the seller. Why is this here? Why would this be here if we're not able to cancel our debt? You gotta pay attention to these contracts. They really be having everything you need in them. The fact is that we don't read. That's what we mess up at. We just sign shit. Again, you have road and bridge, e-tag, $63. Government certificate of title fees, $33. You have government vehicle inspection fees. You have all of these fees here. Documentary fee. These fees should not be in the contract. Here's another fake warranty, AWS service contract, $4,000. None of this stuff is supposed to be itemized in our car contracts. The fact that they are, it just lets you know how they are just getting over on us without even us knowing. We're gonna go back to the slideshow, and we're going to be moving back and forth from this to that. So I'm pulling the slideshow back up. All right. So how to spot the fees? We just looked at it. And so fees to easily find in your contract are itemized fees such as state title loan, service fee, state inspection, road and bridge, extended warranties, etc., as I just showed you guys on my actual car contract. 15 USC code 1605 sections B and C. We literally read those sections already, so I'm going to just go over this. Car insurance shall be added into the finance charge. Sections B1 and 2 list the only reasons why you wouldn't be able to add insurance. The auto dealer has put a fake warranty in place of where our covered insurance is supposed to be. Gap insurance is how the auto dealer tricks us into believing we need insurance prior to purchasing the vehicle. Section C explains how the auto dealer is supposed to handle this. Here, we have another violation of rights and breaching our contracts. And remember, Section C said that it put everything from sections B1 and 2 together and said that the request had to be in writing from the creditor, which will be the auto dealer, which none of us in our lives have ever received. So again, here's material breach of the contract. And so now we have the full rights to rescind. And I wanted to break that down so much because I want you guys to understand that you have the power to do everything. It's just up to you whether or not you know that. They're not going to tell you you have the power. They don't want you to know you have the power. So keep that in mind. And that goes for everything. So violations. You should have two contracts. One should be the retail purchase agreement, and the other should be the simple finance charge contract. Place them side by side and check the following. Now I'm going to show you my contracts, but I'm also going to go over this with you because I want you guys to be able to look at your own contracts and find these things. Make sure the date of purchase matches on both contracts. Truth in lending, which is TILA, is included in the simple finance charge, which is the installment contract. And it should not be on the retail purchase agreement, which is the original contract. Dealership signature on the simple finance charge, which is the installment contract. Installment contract is the contract that has the monthly payments that you're to make. That is what that contract is. Locate your signature on the retail purchase agreement, which is original contract. It should not be on the installment contract. And check to see if the fees match on each form. Now I'm going to share my screen with my car contract on it again. Just give me a second to get out of this. Hold on, sorry. There's a lot of back and forth. I'm gonna go over my entire car contract with you guys to show you what it looks like. All right, so this here is not the contract that I received when I left the dealership. This is the contract that I received when I called the dealership and asked them to email me a copy of my contract. So a lot of the paperwork that is in this contract, I have never personally seen myself before, nor have I signed. I want you guys to look over this contract with me and pay close attention to the things that I point out. Now, you can breach your you can rescind your contract for things as simple as the make and model of the vehicle being incorrect. I want you guys to look here on the right side where it says vehicle. This year, make, and model is a 2015 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. Now the trim, keep an eye on the trim. It says here, and this is from Ally, it's a 4-wheel drive 4DR Sport, okay? Keep that in mind. You're going to be seeing if you can locate that throughout the rest of the applications. Now, this is from something called Dealer Track, which is the transcripts where the banks and the car dealerships or the auto dealers communicate with each other when making a deal. Now, financing information, approved product is retail. The definition of retail, you guys know what the definition of retail is? It's a sale, it's an upfront purchase. So that means that something was paid for and purchased upfront. However, if you take a look at this where it says term, there's a triangle with the exclamation point and it says 63 months. It also has some reasons here as to why I guess they couldn't give me something or whatever. But this here really doesn't even matter. We're going to look deeper into it. The amount financed was 26,748 and the buy rate 11.9%. This is the approved APR that the auto dealer purchased the Jeep at. Take a look at the finance charge Ally offered, 11.9%. Now below is the transcript between the finance manager and the bank rep. Okay, with 6K total aftermarket. What is the back end on this one? I'm guessing it's going from this way, from the bottom up. So can we get a decision, please? Change vehicle. And the analyst says, LI bank lookout sheet required. Transaction may qualify for $250 Leaders Club retail bonus, standard rate only. Reward amount will vary if ADR tiered different at contract date. 1 unit only. Now, an analyst keeps saying this. I don't know or have never been told about any of these perks that were offered because the dealer took those for themselves. Again, he asked, what is the back end on this one? And okay, with aftermarket, with 6K aftermarket, total aftermarket. So whatever $250 Leaders Club retail bonus and reward amount, whatever of any of this was. Can you guys still hear me? Is my internet okay? Let me know. Okay. Make sure. Okay, good. Because it just popped up internet unstable. Okay. So I'm gonna keep going. All right, here is the just take a look at the signature. This is the application that I did. But take a look at the signature. I purposely signed my name like this because I don't want people to copy my name. So I just put a line, but I know how to do it like this, a way where I can tell that it's mine, okay? See? This is the signature that I did. These signatures, these little squiggly lines, they are what I did. Now, this here, like I said, is something that I've never saw before and I never signed. So this is fraud and I never signed this agreement. They forged my signature and created this agreement to cover up the fraud from them not adding insurance to this contract. 15 USC Code 1605 Section C, property damage and liability insurance, which we went over. Now, this is an insurance coverage acknowledgement. I've never signed this. Now, remember I said if the trim was not listed on all the other papers across the board, the trim info on the vehicle is not listed. Okay, and we're going to read through this. I understand that the retail installment sales contract or lease contract, finance contract that I signed in connection with my purchase lease of the above described vehicle requires me to provide and maintain insurance on the vehicle against the risk of loss or damage. I understand that this insurance must be in an amount equal to the lesser of the unpaid amount due under the finance contract or the value of the vehicle and must be maintained for the entire term of the finance contract. Now, first and foremost, this already should let you know that this whole agreement is a con. How would they know if I kept my insurance through the entire finance contract? After I get the car, I don't deal with the auto dealer no longer. So why would they know that? How would they know that? And that right there is already telling you that this contract or this agreement was created out of thin air. I also understand that the holder of the finance contract must be named as the lost payee and that the failure to maintain said insurance coverage may be an event of a default under the finance contract. In the event of a default, the holder of the finance contract may pursue all of the remedies provided by law and in the contract finance contract as it deems appropriate. Having been advised that I may obtain insurance coverage from a company and agent of my choice, I have selected. This is some crap. So they just coerced me. They created this because I didn't sign this. They created this contract to cover up the fact that they never gave me this in writing. This entire section is dishonest trickery and fraud. So we've also found more material error in our contract that allows us to rescind it. I never ever signed anything of this nature. Now look at that signature. I literally just showed you guys what my original signature looked like. This ain't mine. Another thing I want you guys to pay attention to. You see this little mark behind the signature of the auto dealership representative? Look at that. It's behind that one as well. Come on, guys. And then it's also a dealer cap. I never signed anything or even seen anything that had dealer cap on it. Remember, I just showed you the transcript at the beginning that was from dealer cap. These, they try to get over, they just don't, like, you got to pay attention. They're not even that good at it. Right here is the trade and loan retail breakdown. I never saw this. This is JD Power publication, 1021 region Southwestern. Now, again, peep the trim of the vehicle. Now, on this, it's saying that it's a 2015 Jeep Wrangler Utility 4D Unlimited Sport 4-wheel drive V6. The trim is not the same. It's not in the same order. So, this is how it should have been written out on all of the contracts. If this was the make, model, and trim of the car, this is how it should have been written on all of the contracts. And this is just showing you the itemized add deductions and the weight, MSRP, and what you would pay if you were trading, loaning, retailing, financing. Retail is them purchasing it. Remember what I said retail was. So we're going to take a look at the retail price. JD Power is trading is $24,450. The loan is $21,975 and retail is $27,750. Now let's scroll up to the top real fast and take a look at what they retail purchased it for. $26,780 at 11.9%. Okay. Odometer disclosure statement. Everybody peep the trim again. Now it's a LL. The body type is a LL now. It's not the same. Look at this signature. This is also one of my original signatures. Look at this signature. Look at how it loops around like this and goes in and curves out. I purposely sign my name like this. Everybody always laughs. I'm like, why you sign your name like that? I do it on purpose. I'll show you. Let's scroll back up. Look at that. That is not the same signature. Just want you guys to see. When you see it on your own contract, it's going to blow your mind that they actually do it. Okay. This right here is LuxCare. Again, I never saw this. One of the main ways to know the warranty is fake is because there will be no expiration date. This one does have an expiration date on it though. I just want to let you guys know that because there are ones that don't have, they are just blatantly fake to look at. You can tell they're fake. But if I didn't blur out this information for privacy reasons, you would have saw if I told you that the information that they even put in there was incorrect. I live in Texas. They had the information from Maryland. I never gave them the information, nor was it even on my ID. So fake warranty to cover up them not adding insurance to this contract. Again, I never signed this and they forged my signature. Again, the trim is not listed. Now it's just a 2015 Jeep Wrangler. Look at that signature. Look at that signature. Here's another one of those itemized add-ins in finance charge. So they had, because they added all of those itemized add-ins to the finance charge illegally, they created fake contracts and forged my signature on those fake contracts to cover their behind, because they hoped that I wouldn't call up there and ask for a copy of this, because I never got this in my contract. Again, the trim and body type is not listed. It's just a 2015 Jeep Wrangler. The trim and body type is not listed. Another form I never saw or signed with another forged signature. This warranty does show an expiration date. However, I did not purchase or consent to this. And this is the signature. And this signature looks very, very similar to the signature on the other paperwork that I said I never saw. This here is the simple finance charge, which is the original contract. I'm sorry, the installment contract. This is the contract that shows you, this is the one that you saw. This is the one they gave us. Okay. So right here where it says seller or creditor, it has the car dealership's name, not your name, not the bank's name. It has the dealership where you purchased the car from's name. I blurted out most of it for privacy reasons, but you can see that that's not my name or any name of a bank. RAM, that right there should tell you it's the car dealer. So if they're the seller / creditor, when they got us to do the application, for those of you who don't know and for those of you who do, when you apply for something and you put your social security number and your signature, you are giving whoever that application belongs to access to your bonds. You are giving them permission to act as the trustee. So this is what this is about here. This is why their information is there as the seller / creditor and not yours. You're as the buyer. Your information goes here as the buyer. And if you have a co-buyer, their information will go there. The seller / creditor listed is the car dealership. This means they are the ones who extended the credit according to the finance contract. So if they are the creditors, why is installment payments in place? The car dealership made the duty. Why are we paying off a third party, which is the bank? Again, you do not see the trim of the car. Look at that finance charge, guys. I showed you at the beginning that the finance charge that LI approved me for was 11.9. Now I'm signing a contract, an installment contract for 13.9. The APR is different. Again, I showed you guys this earlier. The itemization of amount finance is where the car insurance is supposed to go. This is where they're supposed to add the car insurance. They added a fake warranty, which is Lux Care and accessories, and forge my signature on the contract. Optional credit life and credit disability insurance. Do you guys see this? Why is this section being ignored? Property insurance. You must keep the collateral insured against damage or loss in the amount you owe. You must keep this insurance until you have paid all that you owe under this contract. You may obtain property insurance from anyone you want or provide proof of insurance you already have. The insurer must be authorized to do business in Texas. You must agree to give us proof of property insurance. You must name us as the person to be paid under the policy in the event of damage or loss. If any insurance is checked below, policies or certificates from the insurance companies will describe the terms, conditions, and deductibles. Optional credit, life, and credit disability insurance. Credit, life insurance, and credit disability insurance are not required to obtain credit. They will not be provided unless you sign and agree to pay the extra costs. Your decision to buy or not buy these insurance coverages will not be a factor in the credit approval process. Credit life insurance pays only the amount you owe if you paid all your payments on time. Credit disability insurance does not cover any increase in your payment or in the number of payments. If the term of the insurance is 121 months or longer, the premium is not fixed or approved by the Texas Insurance Commissioner. This is how they scam us. Optional insurance coverages and debt cancellation agreements. Y'all, come on. We got to start reading our contracts. The granting of credit will not be dependent on the purchase of either the insurance coverages or the debt cancellation agreement described below. It will not be provided unless you sign and agree to pay the extra cost. The credit approval process will not be affected by whether or not you buy these insurance coverages or the debt cancellation agreement. Why is it a debt cancellation agreement if we can't cancel these debts? If this stuff is not already prepaid? This is the questions we need to be asking ourselves. Again, like I told you, fees like this are not supposed to be added to the finance charge. AWS service contract, $4,000. These itemized fees that I already pointed out are not supposed to be added here. And this here is about gap insurance that I told you about. Liability insurance. This contract does not include insurance coverage for personal liability and other and property damage costs to others. All right, look at the signatures. Take a look at the signatures. All right, this one here is the retail purchase agreement. This is the original contract. Okay, I never signed this one. I never saw this one. So the auto dealer purchased the car before locking us into a third-party contract, and this is where the purchase happened. The retail purchase agreement is a bill of sale. So this is where the purchase has had taken place. Again, like I said, the information that is on here is not incorrect. As you can see, the email says not yet at gmail.com, which lets you know I did not do this paper because I would have put in my email there. Just keep going. Here we have those itemizations again that are not supposed to be written in that I showed you from the other contract. This is the one that I just showed you, which was the original contract. And this, which is the installment contract, are the two contracts that you should be putting side by side and matching up the things that I said, which I'll go over again briefly. But all of those highlighted fees that are not supposed to be there. And look at that signature. And remember that little mark in the back that I told you about that he has. And every time the signature is forged on, obviously, when he signs it, it's the same. If you haven't noticed that. You see? Forged, forged, forged. The signature is literally copied and pasted. He's not doing this over and over. Look at the hook on the end. Look at that. Look at that. This signature is not. Look at that. I know that I'm not saying stuff. I'm going to keep going. Look at it. It's literally the same. It's just blown up or scaled down and placed in to look like it's not copied. And it all has this little piece, this little watermark in the back, like John Reed. And every paperwork that he has his signature on has this same forged little stampy thing and the same forged identical signature. Who signs their name, especially a signature like that, exactly identical every time? Now this one is different, very different. This should tell you guys. So that's my full car contract, but we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going through the slideshow, and I still have more to show you. I have to show you how to actually do the process. So let me get my slideshow back up, and we're gonna keep moving. All right. So like I said, the violations, you should have two contracts. One should be the retail purchase agreement, and the other should be the simple finance charge contract. Place them side by side and check the following. Make sure the date of purchase matches. Truth in lending TILA is included in the simple finance charge installment contract. Now, I didn't even show y'all that that's not even included in my contract and not on the retail purchase agreement. original contract. Dealership signature on the simple finance charge, which is installment contract. Locate your signature on the retail purchase agreement only, which is the original contract, and check to see if the fees match on each form. The original contract, which is a retail purchase agreement, is the bill of sale. The fact that it is called the retail purchase agreement informs us that the auto dealer made it our obligation to pay a third party. They forged our signatures on the second contract because they didn't want us to see that the car was already paid for. And how was the car paid for? Through us, through our bonds, through our social security number, and the access through the signature that we sign on the application. Anytime you apply for something, you are begging for something that belongs to you. Anytime you register for something, you are giving away your power. This is why when your car is registered and you choose not to put plates on it, they can take your car because you registered it. You gave away the power of the vehicle. Now keep that in mind. That goes for everything. Violations explained. The auto dealership forced, tricked, and schemed us into those contracts under the belief that we had to pay a third party for a car that was already paid for. And they did the same with the insurance. According to 15 U.S.C. Code 1602, Definitions and Rules of Construction, Section L, our Social Security card is a credit card. The auto dealer requires us to fill out an application that requires our social security number and signature, which is needed to make the purchase for the car. Then they act as the creditor because we unknowingly gave them the duty of being our trustee and access to our bond to purchase the car. The auto dealer then gains our consent through trickery to perform a credit check, which is how the third party, the bank, is entered in on the deal. The auto dealer purchases the car on our behalf because we granted them POA, power of attorney, makes a deal with the third party, tricks us into believing we had to sign the contract with the bank, and locks us into an obligation with a third party that we technically do not owe. But due to our consent via signature and SSN, we lock ourselves into a debt, into paying a debt with a debt for a debt that has already been satisfied just to make the auto dealership and banks wealthier. That's the key to it all, guys. That is how they have violated us, and that is why. So I hope that was breaking it down to you guys to make you understand why you have the right to rescind and why you shouldn't feel bad or afraid of exercising your rights. Oh, sorry. Steps to rescind. All right, this is the steps. Like I said, I'm going to do a live demo of steps 2 and 3 because you have to see that to actually know how to do it. But these are the steps, and I'm going to go over them. This is what you need to write down. I'm going to try to take my time so that you can get it down. All right, step 1, revoke your power of attorney. Draft a revocation of power of attorney letter and mail that letter to the auto dealership. Before you mail that letter, you need to get that letter notarized. You need to make a copy of it for your records, and then you need to mail it off certified with the green return card. So revoke your power of attorney, draft a revocation of power of attorney letter, mail it to the auto dealership that you purchased the car from. But before you mail it to them, get it notarized, make a copy of it for your records, and then mail it certified mail with the green return card. Step 2, report the creditor for identity theft. The auto dealership where you purchase the car or the vehicle is acting as the creditor. Remember, it's proof on your application that they are acting as the creditor, and when in fact they should not be. This is how they get their cut off top. Now I'm going to go to identitytheft.gov and show you a live demo of how to do this. So let me stop sharing real quick and pull that website up. I'm gonna walk you guys through it step by step. Need you guys to pay very close attention. All right, let me get the screen back up. Show you how to do this. You also can do this for credit repair too. Hint, hint. All right. So this is the Federal Trade Commission. This is the FTC. This is one of the government corporations or entities who regulates other companies. So this is like a parent company where you go and tell on other companies like the Better Business Bureau and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which I'm also going to show you a live demo of how to do that as well. Now, with the identity theft reports, you're going to go to identitytheft.gov. Let's see if I can move this out of your way. It should be some way that I can get this out of here. You're going to hit get started. You're going to go to, so you have different options. You see, I want to report identity theft. Someone has my information or tried to use it, and I'm worried about identity theft. My information was exposed in a data breach or something else. My information is exposed in a data breach is what you would use for credit repair. I'm just giving you guys some extra game. When you're trying to do credit repair, this is what you want to use. You can go to Equifax data breach settlement.com, I think, and put in your information, and everybody's data's been breached. So that's the key. But I want to report identity theft. Here's your option. And you're going to click loans and leases or loans or leases. For, like I said, credit repair, you're going to get these options as well. If you have utility or phone bills in your name that are negative and you want them off your credit, you would click this. Credit card accounts, you would click this. Loans or leases, you would click this. If you're trying to get your check systems or early warning services cleared and you need to do a report for that, you would click debit, checking, or savings accounts. I'm just trying to show you guys, like, it's ways to get the remedy. You just got to know how to go about it. So you're going to click loans and leases and then click continue. Tell us how your information was misused. Loans or leases, of course, to get a car, loan, or lease. Now, again, you can do this for mortgages. You can do this for personal business loans. You can do this for people who have like evictions and shit on your, on your credit. You can also do it for student loans. But only if that is actually the case for student loans, because student loans are a whole nother thing in itself. So you go to continue. Here is where you would insert the fraudulent auto loan or lease, and this is where you would put your auto dealer. You will put your auto dealer. When it says, when did you first notice this problem? What is it? It's May. We're going to say today. You noticed this problem this month, this year. If you know, tell us when the fraudulent charges began. And that is where you will put the month and year of when you purchased a vehicle. In my instance, it was October 2021. And then that's where you will put the amounts. That's where you would put the amount, the account number. That's where you would put the account number. And it says if you contacted the company, and if you did, you would put the representative you spoke to, company's phone number, and their email. But I leave this blank. You do not have to do this. This is completely optional. So if you have more than one car loan, you can do it Boom, add another one, same process. So let's do a really quick recap just to make sure everybody has digested the information that I just gave them. So here where it says fraudulent auto loan or lease, you're going to put the auto dealership's name for the company or bank that opened the fraudulent account. When you first noticed it, so it is May 2023. You're going to put the month, the current month that you're in and the current year that you're in. So if it's October 2025, you're going to put that. If it's, like I said, May 2023, like it is, you will put that. You're noticing it on the day of the report, okay? If you know, tell us when the fraudulent charges begin. That would be the month and year that you signed that contract. The amount would be the total finance amount that you're locked into on that contract. And the account number will be any account number associated with that with your bank, the finance bank. Hit continue. This is where you will put your information, your name, your phone number. Now I'm going to pause my screen. I'm going to put my information in, or some information in real quick. The reason why I had to pause my screen because I don't want the auto populate to pop up for privacy reasons. Okay. You would need to get a confirmation code and all of that stuff. So hold on. It's gonna give me a code. Okay. Now I'm gonna share my screen again. Um, all right. Let's share my screen again. All right. Can you guys see? Okay. So you put your information, your first and last name. It's going to say United States. You put your phone number. It's going to get you to verify that, and you will put the confirmation code. Then you will put your email, and then who are you filing this complaint for? Yourself. Your date of birth. You will put your date of birth. I'm just choosing anything right now for the sake of demo. And you will put your address here. You will put how long you've lived there. Always put 5 years and 5 months. I don't care if you lived there for two months. I don't care if you just moved in yesterday. Just put 5 years and 5 months. Has the victim's legal name or address changed? No. The answer to that will be no. Is the victim in military? No. And then you will hit continue. So it says, do you know anything about the person who stole your identity? You do. And this is where you will put the auto dealer's information. You will put their, you fit their name in however you need to here. You will put the address of the auto dealer, the phone number, email address if you have it, relationship. You can put other. How did the suspect get your information? You can say financial employment records, had access to relationship with the consumer. You can put other and describe it in the comment field with the reason being they heisted my information and placed me into a contract with a third party. You could put that in there. You're still going to have a spot where you would do that, but we're going to continue. Have you reviewed your copy of your credit report? Yes. Were there any fraudulent accounts in that report? Yes. And then this is where you can click what type of accounts they are or what type of information. But for this part, I leave this blank. But this here, you can put your credit inquiries that you want removed that you got on there. You can only put 3, but you can put 3 of the inquiries from the auto dealer that are on your credit report here. So if they ran your credit like I know they did, because they shotgun blast your credit, put 3 of those inquiries here, and you would just put the name and hey, add company, put the name, add company, and you only can do, like I said, 3. And then you said, it says, have you requested a fraud alert from one of the 3 national bureaus? No, not yet. You just always choose no, not yet. Have you contacted your local police department? No, not yet. Was your personal information? You can put yes, but you don't have to. For this purpose, for the sake of this, you would say no. But if you were doing the credit repair, you would say yes. Has a debt collector contacted you? If the car has been repoed, then you would hit yes, because the bank is calling you all the time. Now you're going to hit continue. Here is where you will put your personal statement. And again, like I said, you can put the auto dealership. I state my information and put me into a contract with a third party. You can type in some violations if you want, but like I said, you don't want to give them too much of what you're doing. So this right here is enough. The auto dealership heisted my information and put me into a contract with a third party. Hit continue, and here is a copy of your report. Here is where you would check this box and finalize it. Now, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to finalize this. This is a government website. This is just an example that I gave you guys. So I'm not going to go ahead and go forward with it. But once you finalize it, what will happen is the next screen that pops up will have it will tell you that you can create an account, which I would prefer you go ahead and create an account, because you can always go back and get this report in case you lose access to it. You can always go back into that account and get it. So create an account, and then you would save it to your computer. If you choose not to save an account, create an account, then you only have that one chance to save it to your computer. And once that you leave that screen, you can't go back. So you will lose it. And if you didn't get it, you would have to do it all over again. So to save yourself the headache, just go ahead and create the account so that you can go in. And if you need to edit any errors you still see where it says edit, I'm able to edit it. Okay. So now we're going to go to the CFPB, which is the next step. CFPB. And I'm going to show you guys how to file or submit a complaint. So this is the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Again, this is another one of the parent companies that you will go to and file complaints with or on companies who are violating your consumer rights. Here in the corner where it says submit a claim is what you would click. You would have to go right here where it says start a new complaint. Here is where you would put your information. It's making me do all of this. Okay, let me pause my screen real quick and let me log in, and then I will come back and show you guys how to do the actual. Okay, I'm logged in. Okay, right here. So we take you to the complaint. What is this complaint about? Choose the service or the product or service that best matches your complaint. Like I said, mortgage for if you want to rescind your mortgage, because you can do that. You can also complain on that. Payday loan, title loan, personal loan, installment loan or personal line of credit, student loans, vehicle loan and leases. Of course, that's what we're going to choose, but I still want to walk over this with you guys. Checking or savings accounts, like I said, if you wanted to dispute or make a complaint on a bank, credit card or prepaid card, credit reporting agency. When you are filing a CFPB complaint against the credit reporting agencies, this is the option that you would choose here. If you're doing it for a debt collector, you would choose this. In money transfer, virtual currency, or money services, you would use this. But right now we're using vehicle loan or lease. And we're going to say loan. We're going to say use. If the vehicle was new, choose choose new. If it was leased, choose lease. But right now we're choosing loan and used. What type of problems are you having? Most of the loan companies we get are about one of the following topics. Select the one that best describes your complaint. You will have the chance to explain your complaint in detail in the next step. Getting a loan or lease, denied loan, confusing advertisement or marketing, high pressure sales tactic, fraudulent loan. Managing the loan or lease, billing, extra fees, transferring loan, additional products related to the loan, problems at the end of the loan or lease, title, refinancing, extending a lease, problem with credit report or credit score, struggling to pay your loan, payment plan, repossession, bankruptcy. But right now we're going to go to fraudulent loan. That is what we're making the complaint about. What best describes your problem? Confusing or misleading advertising or marketing, high pressure sales tactics, credit now, problem with additional add-on products or service purchase with the loan, changes in terms mid-deal or after closing, problems with the signing the paperwork, problem with trading, fraudulent loan. That's what we're choosing. Have you already tried to fix the problem with the company? Yes, you have, because at this point you have already sent off your revocation of power of attorney to the dealership. So we're going to go to next. And what happened? This is where you would write in your own words what happened. And I told you, you would say that they violated several rights from the consumer law, that they heightened your information and put you in a contract with a third party. They failed to provide written notice of the right to rescind. And they also failed to provide insurance. Okay? You can also say that they charged you with a down payment with a finance charge. And you can also say that, like I said, the dealership did not disclose the right to rescind. Please, those two, the dealership did not disclose the right to rescind, and charging you with the down payment are the two that you really want to put into this complaint. Now, you can check this box if you want. This is completely optional. Basically, it's the CFPB asking if they can publish your case once everything gets handled, if they can make it public for others to read, because they do have a form where you can read through other people's complaints and see what the remedy was that they got and all that kind of stuff. So that's up to you if you want to allow them to. I don't check it personally. I don't want that kind of information out there, but it is completely up to you. Now, what should a fair resolution to this issue? What would be a fair resolution to this issue? Here's where you would tell them what you want to happen. I would like to rescind the contract that I have with the auto dealer and the bank. I would like my down payment back, and I would also like any monies from past, present, future, or current debt that I have paid or have not paid to be refunded back to me. That is what you would put here for violations of rights. Right here is where you would attach the copy of the notarized revocation of power of attorney that you sent to them. Your FTC report will go here. And the other letter that I haven't gotten to with you guys would also go here, and you would submit those. Now, I can't go past this unless I write something, so I'm just going to put, I'm just going to put anything. Okay, we'll go to next. Right here is where you will put the vehicle loan company, and that is the bank. You will put the bank or the car dealership here. You will use the account number or the loan number. And then you hit next. Well, it's not gonna let me go, so This is where you put the information of that company. Currently, this company isn't signed up to receive. So the reason why is because I put in anything. So let me just put I just put LI in there just so something can pop up. Okay. So you can put your loan number here. Hit next. Or your account number. You're going to be submitting this for yourself. Your contact information will pop up. Had to block that out, sorry. And then this is the reason why the contact information popped up like that is because I signed into an account. So that's why the contact information popped up. But if you're not signed into an account, which you won't be when you first do this, that won't pop up. So you have to put your information in there. You're putting your age in is optional. You don't have to do that. Answering this question is optional, and answering these questions are optional. I never answered those questions. And you will hit next. It will take you to the review before you submit. And this is where you get to look over your complaint and you get the chance to edit it. After you go through this and you okay it, you will sign below, click that, and hit submit your complaint. So let's go back to the slideshow. That is how you do the FTC reports, and that is how you do the CFPB report. The report the company of fraud. And back to the slideshow. So we're going to start over from the beginning. Steps to rescind. Step 1, revoke your power of attorney by drafting a revocation of power of attorney letter, getting it notarized, taking a copy of that notarized letter for your records, and then mailing it to the auto dealership where you purchased the car, certified mail with the green return card. Step 2 would be to report the creditor for identity theft. So that will be the auto dealership where you purchased the car, the vehicle is, where you purchase a vehicle and that they are acting as the creditor. And I just showed you how to do that at identitytheft.gov, which is the Federal Trade Commission's website. Anything other than that is not their website. So please be careful when you're using these websites that they in .gov and nothing else. Step 3, file a CFPB complaint, which I just walked through with that, walk through that process with you guys. Call the bank that you finance with and let them know you are a victim of identity theft. They will mail you an affidavit. So when you get on the phone with them, let them know that you have been getting the deal. Basically, you've been getting, if the car's been repoed already, or if you're late on payments, let them know that you've been getting phone calls and everything from a deal that was fraudulent and that you would like to file identity theft because you're a victim, your identity was heisted and used to lock you into that deal. Don't go into detail because these representatives' job is not to help you. Their job is to enforce policy. So you don't have to tell them everything. You just want to let them know that you're a victim of identity theft so that they can mail you an affidavit. But there is a process. So when you call them, they're not going to just be like, okay, yeah, we're going to send an affidavit. No, they're going to take your information and they're going to pass you to the next department, which will be their fraud department, which will be the department that would have to reach out to you and confirm that you're a victim of identity theft, and they're the ones who would send you the affidavit. When the affidavit comes in the mail, it's very simple to fill out. You will put the same exact information on it that you did in the FTC report using the auto dealer as the information that you're giving them on that report. And you're also going to send in a copy of your FTC report and CFPB complaint if you haven't done it already, which you shouldn't do it yet. You should do this first. But send in a copy of that FTC report from identitytheft.gov, send that in along with the affidavit that the bank, the financing bank sent you. Send those back together. When you send those back together, then they'll have it on file and they'll take it off. So you send them a copy of your FCC report and add that same FCC report to your CFPB complaint as I showed you. as I just walk through with you guys. Let me move this. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Where am I? Okay. I can't expand my screen. Okay. So step 4, send the auto dealer a letter of rescission 2 to 3 days after sending the step 1 letter. So after you sent that revocation of power of attorney letter, 2 to 3 days after sending that letter, you want to send the auto dealer a letter of rescission. I have that template. If you guys want it, I'm going to sell it for $5 because it's a really good letter and it works. I use it myself personally, but I do not really like doing the template thing. Templates really, they get overused. So I'm really not a big fan on templates. However, if you're one of those people who don't have a hard time with writing letters and you want to use that template as a reference on what to do with your own letter, then I do have it. So you'll know what the letter should say. I really, if I didn't have my personal information in the letter already, I would show you guys on the screen the verbiage, but my personal information is there. So I don't want to breach that. But so you would send that the letter of rescission 2 to 3 days after you sent the revocation of power of attorney to the auto dealer where you purchased a vehicle. Do not include every single violation, as I told you, because in case you may have to take the company to arbitration, you do not want them to know your whole hand. So you don't want to give up everything that you're getting them for in the contract. So the 2 things that you want to put in that letter that they violated is that they failed to disclose your right to rescind and that they charged you a down payment within a finance charge. They're the 2 things that you want to say, okay? Only include, like I said, I'm just reiterating it. Only include the following violations in the letter that you send them. Charging a cash down payment with a finance charge, which violates 15 U.S.C. Code 1605, Section A and B, and dealership not disclosing the right to rescind the affidavit is a sum of, dealership not disclosing the right to rescind. The affidavit is the sum of all you have done. Be sure to have all forms notarized and copy all notarized forms before sending them so you can have them as proof for your records. In the event that the creditor doesn't comply, you'll have to take it to arbitration. You may do so on your state's Secretary of State website in person, so you can do it online, in person, or file a complaint at the local courthouse with all your evidence present. And this is the end of the slideshow. So please take this information and study. Make sure you fully process this information correctly before executing. Now, I want to show you my contract again really quick. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Did I stop sharing? Okay. Let's pull this contract up again. I just want to go over it again with you guys just to make sure that you guys understand what you're going to be looking for when you go over your own contract. All right. Like I said, if you have a copy of your contract, it's best to call the dealer that you bought the car from and have them email you another copy, because a lot of the stuff that is in this contract I've never saw before and I never signed. If it wasn't for me doing that, I probably wouldn't be able to point out so much fraud in my contract. So I just want to make that clear. Again, if the trim, the make, and the model is not the same across the board on all paperwork, that is a failure of proper information, reporting proper information. It's just like when you dispute credit reports. If your information is not the same across all reports, then it is fraudulent and it must be removed because it is inaccurate. So in the same event, if the make, model, and trim of the car is not listed in all of the contracts, then we're not talking about the same car. And that will go back to it being a unilateral mistake. This is a unilateral mistake. I didn't make this mistake, but they did. It's not really bothering the contract to the point where the contract no longer has its substance, but I don't agree with it. So it's a unilateral mistake. Approved product, retail, which means it was an upfront purchase. The buy rate, 11.9%. However, as you scroll down into the contract that I was forced or coerced into signing, I got for 13.9% APR. Original signature. Original signature. Original signature. Original signature. Original signature. This is fraud, and I've never signed this agreement. They forged my signature and created this agreement to cover up the fraud from them not adding insurance to this contract. Remember, 15 U.S.C. Code 1605 Section C, property damage and liability insurance, tells us that insurance should be added into the finance charge unless one of two things are the case, in which they aren't. However, this letter here that they created and forged my signature on is actually the case. Basically, number two, this is a written notice of me basically telling them I have my own insurance so that they don't have to cover me. And I did not sign this because we are under the impression that we have to show up to the deal with our own insurance. We voluntarily just put ourselves into this boat unknowingly. So because of that, they asked me what insurance that I have, and I already had a vehicle, so I already had insurance. I just added the new car, the Jeep, to that insurance. But because I already had insurance and I thought or was under the impression that I had to come with insurance and I didn't know that it could be added into the contract, I told them, the insurance provider, I volunteered that information. And again, this is not my signature. If you take a look at anything that says dealer cap and that is signed by John Reed, this signature will be there with this little watermark, the same one that he has, just a little bit different. The body type is not the same. The signature, this is mine. This is my signature. This is another one of those paperworks that they put together. The trim is not listed. This is not my signature. Another one of the forms, the trim and body type is not listed. Well, the four-wheel drive AWD is, but the other things are not listed as far as the trim. This is also forged. I didn't sign this. Again, the seller creditor listed is a car dealership. This means they are the ones who extended the credit according to the finance contract. So if they are the creditors, why is installment payments in place? Why am I paying Ally if they are the creditor? The car dealership made it the duty to pay them. They put us in a contract at a higher percentage rate with Ally. They extended me the credit according to this contract. However, I'm not paying them, I'm paying Ally. The APR is 13.9%. Oh, excuse me, sorry. This is not my signature. This is where the insurance is supposed to be added. So when you see itemization of amount financed is where the car insurance is supposed to be added. Instead, there are fake ass warranties in place of where my car insurance is supposed to be. Again, as I pointed out too, all of these added in fees and charges are violations. They are not supposed to be added into a finance charge. signature, signature. Just keep an eye on the signatures. That one was mine. The auto dealer purchased the car before locking us into a third-party contract, which is the retail purchase agreement. Retail upfront sale, purchase, meaning that the sale was completed, agreement. Something that you're agreeing to that you didn't have to agree to, which is how they lock us in with the banks. As I stated, this is not the information was inaccurate that was on here. And this email is not, I wouldn't have put this. The trim of the vehicle is not listed as well. All of the add-ons again in the itemization, all of these add-ons that I highlighted. The down payment, that's also not supposed to be added here. Remember, anytime you see John Reed's name in this little watermark, you'll see the forged signature and the watermark. And it also says dealer cap. All of these signatures here. Even they have agreement to arbitrate here. The purchaser and dealership agree, except as otherwise provided in the agreement to arbitrate, to resolve by binding arbitration any dispute between them. They're telling you that you can arbitrate. The parties understand that except for those disputes specifically exempted from arbitration, they are knowingly and unconditionally waiving their right to litigate any claims in court. So you cannot file litigation, however, you can arbitrate. Their right to a jury trial and their right to participate as a member or representative of any class action in court or through arbitration. So this is telling you that you can arbitrate, but you cannot go for a class action litigation or arbitration through class action or jury trial, which I did not sign this. So they forged my signature on something that I didn't sign. They also, if you notice, where it says optional consent to contact, there is no signature there. So they only conveniently made me sign the things which they forged my signature, the things that benefited them, opportunity to inspect and approve of the vehicle, conditional delivery agreement. These things only are, it benefits them. As you can see, the little watermark thing behind the signature. Remedies upon cancellation. You agree that we are not liable for any damages results from our failure to deliver the vehicle. Oh, this is about delivery. Okay, so right here is that same signature with that watermark and the dealer cap. Again, there's another arbitration clause there. And again, so I just wanted to walk through that again just to show you what you should be looking for in your own contracts when you go to look at your contract and find a fraud. Because you have the right to rescind, the only thing is you have to find the reason to rescind. A lot of people will tell you, yeah, you can rescind, yeah, you can do this, yeah, you can do that, but you don't know how or why the reason is that you are rescinding. So if in the event they were to ask you, you wouldn't have a clue. So I try to just give you guys a picture of what a fraudulent contract would look like, because if, like I said, I would have never caught this if I didn't get them to email me the contract like over a year after the deal was already in place. The contract, they're not worried about hiding stuff at this point because they feel like they already got what they needed out of the deal. So now I get the real contract. So I get to see that a lot of the stuff has been forged. So when I went and did the first revocation, the first step revocation of power of attorney, when I did that myself, what they did was send me a letter in the mail called a lease or loan termination program, in which they were trying to get me to bring the Jeep in to terminate that lease, or should I say to terminate that loan, to lock me into another one at a lower cost, so they say, or a lower APR. So be careful of that, because they will try to give you their remedy, but their remedy is not the remedy you want. The remedy you want is to get back your down payment and any money that you kicked out, and to cancel and rescind the contract to where as though you owe nothing, but you still get to keep the property. I'm going to show you a quick slideshow for those of you who are not subscribed to Patreon. But for those of you who are subscribed to Patreon, you already saw this. And it's basically just going through the law again, just showing you the different laws and how you have the right to rescind. So that you shouldn't be worried about it. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to rescind, because you have the right to. So let me get this. Hold on, let me get the screen together. And then if we have any time left, I can do a quick Q&A.
Hey, the audio's distorted.
Can you hear better now?
A
Can
lot
everybody
better.
hear? Okay. All right. Let me know if you can hear this.
Sorry, it's been like that since you started.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool.
I think whenever you play the video, it doesn't allow it to work simultaneously.
So so the whole time I've been doing the video, it hasn't been, you can't
Yes,
hear it. Okay.
yes.
Is it like
I
that for
thought it was just
everybody?
for me.
It's for everybody like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I
It's
can't hear
not.
it. It's like that for me too.
Okay. All right. So let's see. What I can do is I can send you guys all this video to your emails. That way.
I'm on Patreon, so I can
Okay.
see it from there.
Okay, so if you're on Patreon, anybody that's here that's on Patreon, you can go see that video. If you're not on Patreon, what you can do is shoot me an email and I can just directly send you the video. So what I'll do is I'll put my email in the chat. I'm going to put my email in the chat. And if you're not subscribed to Patreon, you email me and let me know, and I will give you this video to watch. It's just like putting the icing on the cake.
And just FYI, if you're on Patreon, it's the one that she posted on May 9th.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, so basically it was just me showing you guys how it looks to basically get taken advantage of. It's what you guys can go and look for yourself. Now you have the tools to go look at not only just your car contracts, but pretty much any contract that you get into. And now you can kind of understand some of the terminology and some of the stuff that they put in these contracts where you have the right to rescind them. The only way you are not able to rescind is if you put that in writing and send that to them that you're waiving your right to rescind. Other than that, you have the right to rescind. You just have to be able to point out the you just have to be able to point out the fraud in your contracts. You just have to be able to see what it is that breaches the contract and be able to prove it and match it to consumer law, UCC codes, or any of the other statutes or law that was written to protect us. So go ahead.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Do you have any like any videos or any steps? Because I know this is for current, but I have a current note that I want to do this on. Can I also do this on a note, a car contract that was repoed back in 2017?
Yep. You
Okay.
sure can. Yep. Any of those contracts. The only thing you need to look into is the statute of limitations for your state, because sometimes statute of limitations can play a role. But other than that, if the contract is still in, binding and is still within the statute of limitations, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah, because I still got collectors sending me notice.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So I
If
got a
collect,
question too.
yeah, go ahead, Evan.
So I was going through my contract as you was doing it too, because I financed the car in 21,
Mm-hmm.
and I recently got it repoed, and I went and I paid the money to get it back out of repo. So now the dealership, no, sorry, not the dealership, the finance company, the bank is sending me letters now. So because I was going through all the paperwork, I signed a power of attorney for them to do something with the title. And now they're resending me that same paperwork so they can have power of attorney again. Now I didn't sign it this time. I kept it and I just didn't sign it. So I want to know, does that mean that my car has no lien on it now?
So the lien that they put on a car anyway is temporary. They only put a 21-day lien on any of those things, sadly. The reason why is because when you go to the DMV to get that car registered, it'll pop up and show them as the lien holder, so you can't get the title. But once that time has passed, that lien
Right.
most likely for most banks has expired. So what you can do is go do a UCC 11 search on your local Secretary of State website. You will put your name in your all caps name in first, middle, and last middle, and first, however they tell you to do it. And you will be
Right.
searching up to see if there are any liens on your name. 9 times out of 10, it's not. And what you'll do
I
is just
did.
order. You did it?
Yeah, I did that, and I didn't see, my name didn't pop up anywhere in the system. So now I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if that was just for cars or any kind of other stuff that I have lien. I don't have any liens or anything else, so I know that. But so does that mean I can go to the DMV and just say, hey, give me my title?
So no, it's not that easy.
All right.
Yeah. It is not that easy. I tried to do it myself and they had called security. They called security on me and everything. So no, it's not that easy. I'm still in the
Okay,
process of trying to get the master title. So I haven't gotten to that part yet because I'm still, it's like I have the pieces, I just ain't put the puzzle together yet.
that's where I'm like you. I have so many pieces that I'm trying to like put the jigsaw together to make it a
Mhm.
picture. But okay, so here's my next one. This is the one I really wanted to know about. So my dealership is closed or changed businesses or this different name now. How does that apply to me in my situation now? Because like I said, my car got recently repoed and now I got the car back. Um, and since then, I'm like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do this. But my dealership now is not the same dealership anymore. So how
So
do I go about getting the original paperwork like
I
how
would,
you have?
right. I would think because they got took over by another business that they still have the same files. I would think that just the only thing changed is the name and the operations. So I would still call up there and
Okay.
I would explain to them that I purchased a car before it was the form, like the current person or current owners. I would tell them and I would ask them, is there any way that they can provide you with a copy of your contract for when you purchase a car under that former company?
Just the FYI, I don't mean to interrupt, but all businesses have to keep paperwork no matter what it is, even if they go out of business and another business buy them, or they're still they go out of business themselves. And I learned this in financial accounting, that they have to keep the paperwork for at least 7 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
yeah, so that's what I was saying. I would think that they would still have those documents. I don't think they would just, get rid of them because for tax purposes, regardless of, them switching, the tax and all of that stuff they still need all of that.
Miss Divine, how do you
Mhm.
go about getting the black language thingy you were saying, like the black law?
Black's Law Dictionary.
Mhm.
Send me an email.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send you it's like anybody who is not subscribed to Patreon, and even if you are subscribed to Patreon and you haven't gotten the free study books and stuff that I gave out, just shoot me an email and let me know and I'll get that stuff over to you. It's like 13 or 14 books and it's like really good books that is going to help you
Yes, thank
understand this
you. Because
process.
I'm new to all this. I'm just getting put onto this very informative knowledge. So I'm just trying to get, familiarized so I can go ahead and properly do these steps to be successful. Because I'm looking at my contract right now and I'm like a fish out of water. I have no idea what I'm looking at. It does not
Mhm.
look like the one that you showed. Like my contract is for New Jersey, so it does not look. It's 7 pages and it got the gap guaranteed asset protection. Like it's so many pages. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at, but I'm just trying to understand it with the information you provided. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, just send me an email and I'll get those books over to you. And it's gonna really open your mind and give you the knowledge, as a beginner. Because I was a beginner not too long ago, so I definitely understand.
Miss Divine, if I can help out for a second, a lot of the books that you have too, you can let them know just so it's not so much pressure on you. You can also let them know that they can order it from Amazon. Like I got my Black's Law Dictionary from Amazon. I got my Meet Your Strawman from Amazon, and a lot of the other books. So just you can also let them know that so it's not so much pressure on you as well.
Yeah. Thank you for that. There was a reason why I don't really tell them about Amazon though, is because I know some people don't really have a lot of money to pay for the books. So if I have the books for free, I just give them out because a lot of people, may not have the funds.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, because like yesterday, Hertz they stole $805.69 out of my card off of my bank account. So
Whoa.
yeah, that's my rent. They just took out of my account, and I'm trying to fight them for that now for a car rental that I didn't even use. The
Oh,
Easy Pass they said I used, I didn't even use. So I appreciate the free templates and stuff you're willing to provide because right now I'm currently in a financial hardship.
yeah, I feel you. I think pretty
Mr.
much
Lyon, I have a
everybody is.
question.
Yes.
So I just wanted to know, is there a way that you can send like possibly a template for like the power of attorney portion, just so we can like have accurate verbiage of like what we're inputting into? Because I'm not like, real techie as far as like information I could put down to where it makes sense to other readers. Like I will just kind of like simplify things. So I just want to know if there's like any templates for all these forms that we are supposed to be submitting in that you can provide to us to where it, it's just a little bit more sense that we can read on our end, that we can just kind of input our information to kind of get it to that point to where they can see where we're going with it.
Yeah, I can email some templates over with the replay. So that'll be like the 22nd. Y'all will be getting an email. Like I said, as far as templates though, I really do not recommend you use them word for word. I honestly believe that you should put your own verbiage in it, but just use it as a mirror of how it should look, or just to give you an idea of what type of verbiage you want to use. But try not to copy it word for word, because when these templates get used over and over, it's kind of like it loses its power.
Yeah, no. Just so I know like exactly like how it's supposed to sound, how it's supposed to look, and things like that. So I'm not just kind of biting myself in the ass when I'm, putting all this stuff down on paperwork.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I can definitely have that in the email. I'll have the two templates in the email when I send that over on the 22nd.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I got something also for a second.
Oh shit.
Sorry,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say this real quick for everyone. For most of the books, you can get free PDFs downloadable. You can go, I recommend going DuckDuckGo for it, and then put in the name of the book with PDF or free PDF or PDF download. And usually you can find them. There are tons of sites that have millions of books that are literally free to download. And I've gotten ones that I didn't even expect to be able to. As for the other part that I was going to say, you can download ChatGPT, and there's an extension that you can download for your browser while you're using it. And it has a flyout at the top that says how you want it to write everything that it's saying. And what you do is you put it under legal. I put strongly worded, and I put in the best way that if it was in a contract it didn't want to be into or whatever, how would it break or do what you're needing it to do. And it'll put out with it to be basically a really good version of, I have one for revocation of power of attorney that honestly it looks really darn good. 1 second, can you put
Nathan, do you think you can put that in the chat for everybody so that it make it easier?
the extension? It'll take me a second to find it, but yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
ChatGPT is really good.
What is FTC in step 3?
Hold on real fast, Evans. I want to ask Jamoni. I hope I'm saying your name. He been trying to get his question in for a minute now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mama.
Thank you. Does anything in this process change if you refinance?
That's a good question. I honestly don't have the answer to that. I believe it does, because your paperwork goes to a different bank, right?
Yes, I refinanced with a credit union. I think somebody else had the same question.
That's a good question. To be honest, you still want to go after the dealership, because they still put you in a third-party contract, regardless if you refinanced or not. You still was coerced into a contract that you didn't have to be in. So yeah, I still would go after the dealership.
Okay.
Fruits,
Okay.
battery, and all that stuff. So the FTC, what is that in step 2? 3, I mean.
I'm sorry, can you reword your question?
What it says send the copy of your FTC report and this. What is the FTC?
The FTC report is the step that I showed you where I was putting in the identity theft report against the car dealership.
So that's the actual finished product is what the FTC is called?
Yeah, so once you finish that process, you'll get what is called the FTC report. And that's the report from the Federal Trade Commission. That's why it's called that.
All right, kid, I'm writing it down. I'm like, damn, I didn't remember what the FTC was, so I have to put that in the notes next to identity theft. So that's what I'm gonna get that.
Yep.
FTC. Thank you.
You're welcome. And any last questions before we shut it down? Any last questions?
Do we get a copy of this?
Yeah, so yep, so the replay will be available for 14 days on May 22nd. I'm gonna send out an email to everybody who was here. Matter of fact, everybody who paid is not even here. So I don't want to mix anybody up. So please, everybody that is present right now, just go ahead and send me an email when we end. divinetrustbabies07@gmail.com. I put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat again. Just send me an email and let me know so that I can get this information over to you first.
In the email, should we just label it we were a part of the event, right? Or
yeah, say car rescission class need just say car rescission class need replay or something so I can know, or just say car rescission class replay. Yeah, say car rescission class replay in the subject. You don't even have to put nothing in the actual message. Just put car rescission replay and I'll know that you were here, and that way you'll be one of the first ones that I get that email out to. It's going to have the replay with 14-day access, so you get to go back and watch it over and over again for 14 days. And it's also going to have the 2 templates for power of attorney, revocation of power of attorney, and the other letter. I also am going to locate a down payment letter, but that letter I'm going to have for sale because that letter is going to be the letter you need to get your down payment back. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm getting your email. So give me to May 22nd is when you should be getting something from me. And Nathan and Michael, I don't know which one of, I hope I'm saying your name right, but I don't know which one of you guys had your hand raised first. So
Yeah, Mikkel.
Okay.
Is the down payment is a part of a I mean your trading, is that a part of a down payment?
Yes, it is.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Nathan, did you want to say anything?
Yes, ma'am. I know it's going to be a weird question, and I have evidently they seem to follow me. What do you do when the car dealership won't send you a copy of your contract? Because I'm having that with my dealership, and there's the same one my mom has, and they, after threatening to, report them for not sending it, they only sent 1 page out of everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking somebody already's done this and they're trying to hide
Uh-huh.
on the stuff that she has. I've already